To Angela Wayne Show, episode 6. In today's episode, we're going to have a very special agent, an investor, a loving mom and wife, Mihwa Lee. She has been a great help when I just joined Sub2 a year ago. So without her, I even cannot imagine where I would be, probably still struggling, just like thousands of you here watching this video. So happy to have you, Mihwa. How are you today?
Thank you. How are you today? I'm very good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you. We've been talking for a year, so I still remember shortly after I joined, I got a call from you and you asked me questions, what I did before, where I was. So I remember all I was talking to you was, I was frustrated. I don't know what to do. So you gave me a lot of ideas. So I really appreciate today you spent the time to talk to me and to talk to a lot of newbies who are going to get so much value from you.
It was my pleasure if I can help anybody in any way.
Yeah, you are really a go-giver. So I know you pretty well, but I'm pretty sure some of you really want to know about you. So how about I start with, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Oh, yes, of course. Actually, I was born in South Korea and I studied occupational therapy in college. And then I immigrated to Canada, actually, by myself at the age of 25 to work as an occupational therapist. And my whole family still lives in South Korea. I guess I was very brave and adventurous at that time. And I worked occupational therapist up until last year. I came to California in 2008 for the warm weather and continued working as an occupational therapist up until last year. And while I was working 9-to-5 job, I always had interest in real estate investment because I knew I can get rich and get financial freedom with the paycheck that I was getting as a therapist. So I always had interest in real estate investment. And then, but I couldn't pull the trigger, just because I was very comfortable and used to getting paycheck every 2 weeks. So even though I had to do something, I was just comfortable, doing working same work somebody else. And I love traveling and, doing all kinds of outdoor activities. And that's one of the reasons that I'm living in California. But the only freedom that I was getting was 2 weeks vacation a year, for working for somebody else's dream. And then it hit me last year when I was replaced by a new graduate therapist who was a lot cheaper than me. And I worked for this employer for 8 years. I managed the whole rehab department company. But no matter how hard work for somebody else, I was just one of their business expenses. I was that easily replaceable by somebody else. And that was a wake-up call for me. So I swear to myself, I'm not going to be replaceable ever again. I'm not going to raise my children to be replaceable human beings. And by the time I quit my job, my whole family had to relocate to San Diego because of my husband's work. So I decided to become a full-time real estate agent while taking care of my 2 children to get adjusted to a new school and new city.
What you said, it's probably resonated a lot of people. I guess I'm pretty sure most people have or had W-12 in Sub2. Talking about being too comfortable, talking about hesitate to move, to leave the job. People can really relate to you.
Yes. I knew I had to something else, but it was really hard to pull the trigger because once you're comfortable in your whatever you are doing in comfort zone, it's really hard to get yourself out of it. So that's one of my biggest reasons. But I'm glad, in a sense, I'm glad that happened to me. So it pushed me. I left with no choice. So I thought this is a time. This is a time that I become a full-time real estate investor and agent as well. Yeah.
What was that mental feel like when you at that time you decide to make that change? It's hard.
It was very nerve-wracking, because especially in California, their living expenses is really high. And coming from 2-income household to 1-income household, it can be very financially, very, very stressful. But, I had to do what I had to do. Even though we have to live, very in a small budget every month, I don't want to go back to my 9-to-5 job because I knew once I do that, I know I can be very comfortable in that job and I cannot pursue, my dream. Sometimes I have to push myself off the cliff, So
I know you have 2 young children. So when
yes.
you made that decision, was your husband supportive, or you have to have like family meeting in order to talk about it?
Okay, my husband is supportive. So he takes like a kind of half. He takes care of some household chores and childcare, childcare duties too. So in a sense, yeah, I'm lucky in that regard.
So for people who are watching this interview, so take a leap of faith. You have to lose something or to gain something. So this is really a living example that, if you are fully focused on something that you're really passionate about, just take the plunge. Yeah. I have to learn from
Yes,
you.
I guess
Right now,
so.
I'm not ready to take that plunge yet.
I think you're doing great as well too.
Yeah, well, really,
So,
thanks to your help. I really appreciate it. So you are much more established when it comes to real estate investment. At least when you approach me. You also do a lot of land development as well. So can you tell us why you chose real estate as your career, not occupational therapy, for instance?
yes. No, my biggest reason that I chose real estate as a career is potential the high earnings and the lower barrier of entry. You can get into real estate without college degree or even without your money. So I believe this is the only way an average person like me can get substantial financial earnings. And as I said, from my W-2 job, I knew I can get financial freedom in any other way. As an occupational therapist in a skilled nursing home, I worked for the elderly who got hurt at home and couldn't take care of themselves anymore. So they came to the nursing home for therapy. And then even after I became a realtor, I didn't know such a thing called seniors real estate specialist existed. So as soon as I learned about it, I got the certificate and I decided to dive into a seniors market. And I'm glad my experience, my 9-to-5 job experience as an occupational therapist, I can use it for my advantage, actually, because I truly understand what the baby boomers are facing when they have to sell their house and move into assisted living facility. Because it can be very daunting and very stressful transition if you don't know anything about senior care facility. Who's going to pay for it, how long your money is going to last, things like that. So as a senior real estate specialist, I can use my experience as occupational therapist to make the transition as smooth as possible. So I think that's a really good combination with my past experience and my passion for the real estate investment. I think this perfect combination.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see that. It's actually helped in 2 ways. As when you wear your agent hat, these are the empty nesters. These are the people who are more motivated to sell. If you wear the investor's hat, this is exactly when we talk about assisted living, all these roomy homes. These are great rental exit strategies. So you definitely get an inside niche about this.
Yes, and the good part is most of these empty nesters, their house is already free and clear, because they live there for like 30 years, 40 years. So most of the time the house is free and clear. So what I can do is I can structure like a seller financing deals for them, because for them, they can save a lot of taxes. And when they move into assisted living facility, they have to pay rent every month. So when I structure seller financing, they can it's guaranteed that they're going to get monthly paycheck every month in their bank account, so they can pay their assisted living facility with that money. So they don't have to worry about the landlord or tenants and things like that when I'm in their rental properties. So I think it's a really good strategy for seniors and for the investors as well. It's just win-win situations. So,
yeah. And I guess not just the strategy is awesome, but for you have the advantage because you've been in that career. You know what they wanted. You know how to talk to them. You can easily build a relationship with them because it's a relationship built.
Yes.
Instead of they sell to
business, and you have to be a problem solver too. Yes.
Yeah. So you know how to talk to them. You know how to care for them. You know what they want. So when you pitch the seller finance idea, they are more likely to accept your offering than, for instance, people like me who never talk to the seniors.
Approach as a problem solver. I try to find out what problems they are facing, so that I can solve. I don't approach them as an agent. It's not a transaction. It's about the relationship, and then how I can provide them a value with my service.
Yeah, that reminds me, you recently just published an ebook about for them how to take care of their financials when they get older, right? Can you talk to
Yes.
us a little bit about that?
The ebook is about the seniors, specifically seniors who have to sell their house, and I address what kind of options they have in terms of how they can sell their house. Traditionally, they just know just list it on MLS. That's the only way. But there are so many other ways they can sell their house creatively. Though mainly the ebook is for the education purpose, because the more I dip into this seniors market, the more I feel I need to educate them. I need to educate myself and educate them as well, because you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know what to ask if you don't know anything about the transaction or senior care facilities. So yeah, that's I can leave the link below, if you want to download my ebook, and you can read it yourself as well too.
Wow, that's so generous of you. So for all the viewers on this interview, please make sure to download this ebook. You will get so much information about how you can talk to all these seniors. And if you don't know, now you know who is expert that you can talk to. So when you approached back then, a year ago when we first started to speak to each other. So I was such a newbie. I didn't really know anything, and you were so kind to approach to me, give me a lot of guidance, tell me out of so many Zooms what I should start. So that's really helped me a lot. So we were all a newbie at one point in sub 2. So what's your struggle and what's your advice to the newbies?
Well, I'm not really old here in sub 2. It's been only 1.5 years, so I'm a little bit older than you, since I joined this sub 2. But my advice is gonna be choose your niche, choose what you are good at. And then once you find it, stick to it until you master it. So you have to choose what your avatar is. When I joined sub 2 2021, Pace didn't come up with all different kinds of avatars. So I didn't know what I was. And mainly they talked about cold calling and door knocking. So I thought that's the way to go. So I hired a VA and I spent $1,000, cold calling, skip tracing, and page dialers, but I didn't like it much. It didn't mingle well with me, with my character. And then in 2022, the Pace came up with all different kinds of avatar, and I knew I was a unicorn agent right away. I was a unicorn agent and buy and hold investor. So as soon as I knew what I was, and since then, I've been laser focusing on developing my business as an agent, as a unicorn agent. So before you find what you are good at, it can be very difficult to focus on one thing. You can be swayed by many shiny objects, because the most challenging part in the real estate business is there are so many things you can make money from. So that's exactly what I experienced as a newbie. I spent about a year, searching for what I want, who I was. And I'm so glad Pace came up with the avatar last year. And I knew right away I'm an agent. I'm a unicorn agent and buy and hold investor. So once you find what you are and what you are good at, and just stick to it. You have to be laser focused on it until you master it.
Yeah. That's exactly. I remember that conversation we had. I told you I was frustrated. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how do I attend all the Zooms and to watch all the recordings. And you said start with the arbitrage Zoom. Said,
yes,
what's
that's
that?
The first one you have to watch as a newbie. Yes, I highly recommend it. Yes.
Yeah, that's really shortened the learning curve a lot. So. You also talk about following the shiny object. I'm pretty sure 99% of us watching this interview right now have that syndrome, have that problem. So how can we just get rid of all the noise to focus on one thing? Because eventually, all the different exit strategies, we all can make money. You talk about assisted living. I know a lot of people are doing it. Even I myself want to get into it. So how do we get rid of the noise? Just focus on that one thing and be good at it.
That's a good question, because I still struggle. How, removing all the noise, but, you have to really focus on it though. I don't watch the Zoom as many as I often I did. And I don't get on the Facebook group as often as I did, because it can be noise, I can be distracted.
Right.
I love to get on the Facebook, software group or Zoom videos as many as I can. But the more I get into it, the more noise I get, the more distracted I get. That's what I found. So once I find one interested area that I find, I just turn off every Zoom calls or every, Facebook groups, and then I just laser focus on it. Yeah. That's it.
That sounds like me. Every night I spend a couple hours on Facebook to see all these posts.
I know once you get into it, it's a rabbit hole. You cannot get out of it for hours. And then in the Zoom, Zoom videos, I just choose what I want to hear, what I want to listen to. I don't go onto every Zoom video anymore. I used to do that because I wanted to learn everything, before I jump into. But now I handpick, what I want to listen to. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good piece of advice. But I'm pretty sure here a lot of people would like to have more Zoom with you talk about assisted living, because that's such a hot topic, and it's a really excellent exit strategy. People struggle about it. People know there's money to be made there, but people struggle about, exactly where are the seniors, how to approach them, what's the facility like, what kind of requirement. You are the expert really in this field. People would love to know more about you. I'm pretty sure now people want to get a hold of you to see how how to work with you together. Talking about the deals, there are any deals that you are working on right now?
Right now, as an agent, I have 2 listings that I need to sell. And one is vacant lot, is entitled to build a 75-unit apartment in Long Beach. And the seller is asking for $3.5 million for the land with the entitlement. And the other one is a 3-bedroom single-family house with a 2-bedroom guest house in the backyard. And this is a perfect property for house hacking. The rental income from the guest house can help you with the monthly payment. And I also have a couple of investors that I'm working with. They are senior market investors. So they are either looking for to build a new assisted living facility ground up, or buy an old apartment and convert it into assisted living facilities. So that's 2 projects that I'm working with for the investors right now.
Wow. 75 unit entitlement. That's not a great project.
The seller bought the land a few years ago, and then he hired an architect and drew the architectural plan, and then the city got approved it for 75-unit apartment. So initially he planned to build it himself, but he changed his mind and he's selling the land with the entitlement. Yeah. So the next developer can pursue until the final building permit, and then they can build it. Yeah.
Is it something that you want to focus on the land development? Or
that's one of my interests right now. But I want to really focus on the seniors market at this time. But I'm always looking for vacant land as well. Yeah. That's my second interest. My first interest is the seniors market, and then my second is like a land development. Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah. So what's are you always only focused on SoCal or everywhere when it comes to land development?
Right now it's a SoCal. Yes. Yeah. I'm want to focus on where I'm familiar with, and then maybe I can move on to another state. Everybody says, oh, you should invest out of state. California is too expensive. However, my niche is the seniors market, but seniors market is really good in California, actually. For the rental, multifamily, maybe it's not. It's not the best. California is not the best state for like a multifamily, but seniors market is still good, for the California. Yeah.
You say good in terms of that they can do standard finance. Is that what you feel is good?
Oh, yes, that's one of the reasons. And the other one is there's a lot of population, the baby boomer population in California. So.
Yeah, and most of them are really free and clear, and they really need the money.
Yes, and also in California, they have high equity, which can be very beneficial when you structure a seller financing, because they can save a lot of taxes. Like a homeowner taxes exempt is up to $500,000, if it's a couple. And if one of the spouse has passed away already, then it's only $250,000 is tax exempt. But when you think about it, in California, most of them has like over 1 million equity. in their
Yes.
property. Yes. So the seller financing is really good, beneficial for them when they have to save taxes and they have to pay for the assisted living facility every month. So they getting the check from the new buyer and then they pay to the assisted living facility. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great strategy right there. Yeah, I can see there's so much potential over there.
Mhm.
So you live in Los Angeles. Right now you live in San Diego. So do you
Yes.
focus
Yes.
on
We
both?
moved to San Diego last year. Yes. It's been about a year. Mhm.
So right now, do you focus on both of this or you only focus on San Diego because it's closer to you?
Focusing on San Diego right now, but I have a couple of rental properties in Los Angeles myself. So I go there often. So I travel to Los Angeles, I guess, at least twice a month.
Wow.
But I'm mainly focusing on San Diego right now. Yeah.
Wow, you already have a even only one rental in SoCal is pretty good because it's really hard to cash flow, depending on what time you bought it, of course.
Uh-huh.
So now, what's your real estate business goals then?
As an agent, I'm also investor myself. So when I meet my clients, I can buy their house. Like for example, they don't want to list their house with the agent. Then I can approach. Oh, okay, then I can buy your property. I'm an investor myself too. So if the property is suitable for senior housing or like a residential assisted living facility, I have investors who can buy and convert them into a residential assisted living facilities. So when I approach my clients, I can be either an agent or I can be investor myself too. So I'm always looking for properties for myself too. So because my exit strategy is turning into residential assisted living facility. So those kind of facilities has a little bit specific restrictions in terms of the house layout, the exit door, because they're always concerned about the safety. And so the first floor is the most preferable, versus the second floor. So those kind of properties, I always looking for that to buy myself. And then I convert them into residential assisted living facility. And especially in California, where the tenant law is very strict. It's very anti-landlord state. So the residential assisted living facility can be a very good exit strategy for buy and hold investors, especially in California. Yeah. So
once you acquire the property, do you hire an operator to operate it, or do you operate on your own?
I do have a certificate as administrator. I can operate myself if I want to, but I would rather not to. I would rather just give it to professional operators to run the business. Because once you get into the business, it's another job. It's really hard. And it's a really high liability business to run. So I would rather give it to another operator to run the business. I just got a certificate because I wanted to learn the business, how you learn the business. But I would rather stay as an investor. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very smart. Have the knowledge so you know how to manage people.
Yes,
and
you
the
have
people
to know.
manage the hard work.
Yeah, you have to know the business if you want to manage the people. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very good piece of advice. So people who are here, I just want to say, you have to know the business, whatever the business you are into, even though you don't want to operate it.
Yes, of course. Yeah. For example, like if you want to open a restaurant, you need to know how to cook. Even though you are not working as a cook, you need to know how to cook. If you want to open a restaurant, right? So it's the same principle. Same principle. Like if you want to run the residential assisted living facility, it's good to have you have a operator license yourself, so you know how the ins and outs of the business.
Yeah, exactly. So I actually know a lot of people, they want to do assisted living in SoCal, but they're hesitant because, our purchase price is so high, then the cash flow can barely break even. So what's your thought on that?
Actually, like a residential assisted living, like 6 beds are very common. So people, because when you look at the building from outside, it looks exactly like a single family house.
Yes.
So people don't know. Probably in your neighborhood, I bet there are at least like 5 or 6 residential assisted living facilities in your neighborhood. But people don't know because when you're looking at it from outside, it looks exactly the same like a single family house.
Yes.
Yes, but 6 bed, it doesn't really generate a lot of profit. And actually, it's harder to manage the building if you have only one building. So like at least 3 or 4 buildings, like around probably close area, then it's much easier to manage the staff, and then the residents as well. So yeah, I would recommend you can go at least like a 12 beds if you want to have a significant profit. Only 6 bed because the 6 bed property is easy to find. So, but those properties, unless you run it yourself, it's hard to get a profit from it. Yeah.
And do you typically put a 2 beds in 1 bedroom?
I guess at least it has to be 4 bedroom. Yeah, 4 bedroom house. Yeah, because you can have 2 residents in 1 room, and then you need an additional room for the caretaker. So I would say if you want to run at least a 6 bed residential assisted living, you need a single family house in the first floor and a single story, at least 4 bedrooms. Yeah.
Wow, you're already dropping so much value here. So what you said is great information for people who are watching, and I know there are thousands of people are watching this interview right now. Yeah. So for people who really want to get into more information about assisted living, now you know Mihwa is the expert for you to partner up with. Yeah. Yeah. So, we're talking about a partnership. So what are other things that the people should be know in order to partner and do deals with you?
They can directly reach me at www.sellgrandmashousefast.com. That's my website. So they can reach me through the website. My all social media link is linked to my website as well. So I regularly update my social media contents as well to educate the public and educate my client and the potential clients as well. And I'm learning myself about SEO, search engine optimization as well. So I'm trying to do some search engine optimization. So when people Google it, then my website came up on Google, so they can reach to me. So you can drop me your contact information through my website, and then whenever I have a deal, I will connect with you. And then you can also let me know if you can be a private money lender, or if you wanna do the investor, or what kind of a specific area you're focusing on, so I know what you want, and so I can connect whenever I have a deal.
Wow. That's so awesome. I love that website. What's the name again, so people can really?
It's a sellgrandmashousefast.com.
I like that name.
It's all one word. Yes.
Yeah.
It's sellgrandmashousefast.com.
It's cute. It's funny, but it also shows it's about a senior living. I really, really love it. So you are really good with social media, because I see you are very on TikTok, on Instagram. You always show what you do. Your ebook, of course. Your visit to the senior living. So you really put yourself out there. Does that have to be helping you?
No, I do it myself. I'm a sole practitioner, so I do everything myself, like educating myself, making contents, editing videos and photos and uploading them, because as I said, I'm really laser focused on the seniors market, and I need to market myself. If I don't do that, nobody knows what I do, what kind of services I can provide for them. So I really focused on social media and SEO marketing, because I think that's my niche, and that's what I want to do, because I tried door knocking and cold calling, but it didn't really mingle well with me. So you have to find what you want and what you are good at, because when it comes to real estate investment, you have to be consistent, and to be consistent, you have to enjoy what you do, right? If you don't like what you're doing, like a cold calling or door knocking, how can you be consistent?
Yeah.
So actually, I like making videos and creating contents. So it's something I think I can do consistently. So that's why I'm focusing on. Also, I think I need to educate myself and the public as well about the senior market, and then what kind of options they have, like what kind of assisted living facilities out there, because every assisted living facility has a different kind of a price plan. And there's all different kind of assisted living facility, like a memory care or like a CCRC, things like that. They don't know. The public don't know what kind of options they have until they really have to move, and they don't have time. They don't have much time to research themselves. So that's why I'm creating those kind of contents and putting out there. So whenever they need information, they can get it from my social media.
Wow, that's awesome. When you start to say memories, see the live, I'm like, Oh, no, what is that? I definitely need to check out your website. And the people who are watching this interview, make sure you go to the website. There will be so much information. There are different kinds of assisted living facility. So make sure you JV with Mihwa, so you get the best out of the business, real estate business.
Mhm.
So we're wrapping up pretty soon. Thank you so much. So any other information you would like to share with the viewer here?
I think that's about it. Yeah. So follow me on my social media, and my website is again sellgrandmashousefast.com. I'm gonna leave the link below as well, so you can check it out and just drop me a line with whatever questions you have.
And how do people find you on social media? Can they find you on the website as well?
Oh yes, yeah. My website has all my social media link, and my social media handle is very simple. It's my name, Mihwa E Realtor. That's I kept it simple for my all social media handles. It's Mihwa E Realtor. That's it.
All right, definitely. Well, I'll definitely follow up. I think I'm already your follower, but I'll definitely make sure as well. Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you very much, everybody. So if you want to know about other investors, other exit strategies, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Every week, I'll try to bring very valuable people like Mihwa to talk about their goal, their expertise, so you can learn so much from them. So
All right.
thank you very much for
Thank
watching.
you so much, Angela.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, see you next time.